Hetch Hetchy Valley. The Sierra Club fighting for a permanent compromise to a continuous conflict. Senior Division Individual Documentary. In 1913, John Muir and the Sierra Club fought against the city of San Francisco over the proposal of constructing O'Shaughnessy Dam in Hetch Hetchy Valley. Attempts to compromise this project were unsuccessful, and the dam was completed in 1923, with the valley becoming a reservoir. However, from this controversy came the Organic Act of 1916, which protected our nation's national parks and monuments. This act, in turn, served as a stepping stone for other laws and amendments that would further protect our nation's environment. The story behind Hetch Hetchy Valley. John Muir was a preservationist, environmentalist, and naturalist. Muir tried to protect wildlife and nature for a better cause. John Muir and many others helped fight for the creation of Yosemite National Park. Yosemite National Park was established in 1890, created by an act of Congress. In 1890, a movement called the Progressive Era started to rise, where society and civilians began to stand up for the environment because of problems caused by industrialization and government. The Sierra Club was created in 1892 with John Muir as co-founder. The purpose of the Sierra Club is to protect nature from harm.
Sierra Club was a very young organization at that time, and its membership actually numbered in the hundreds. And so to go against the city of San Francisco was a pretty major thing.
Gifford Pinchot, a chief of forester and a member of the Roseville branch. Pinchot supported Phelan's considerations on building a dam on Hetch Hetchy Valley. On the other hand, Pinchot was a utilitarian conservationist, someone who advocates for usage of natural resources respectively. Muir and President Theodore Roosevelt developed friendship as they camped in Yosemite National Park. With this in mind, they continued to help each other later on as conservationist allies. A devastating incident. Beginning in 1901, Phelan filed for water rights, which forced Congress to pass the Right-of-Way Act, allowing construction and resources to be used for city purposes. In 1903, Phelan requested water supplies from Interior Department from Hetch Hetchy Valley. Secretary of Interior Ethan Hitchcock refused his request because of Hetch Hetchy's location in Yosemite National Park. In 1906, an earthquake struck the city of San Francisco, causing a devastating fire, burning down houses, which proved the needs for water supplies. The city of San Francisco was supplied by the Spring Water Company, but the conflict within the fire incident, the city blamed the company for negligence, made the city when searching for new water sources. As a result of this conflict, Hetch Hetchy Valley became a target for the city because of its abundant supplies for irrigation to the farming system, hydroelectric power, and possibly a lake for tourists. In 1906, James Garfield became the Secretary of Interior, allowing Garfield to control natural resources uses. Shortly after, Pinchot opened a meeting with Garfield, Phelan, and the city about damming Hetch Hetchy Valley. In 1908, the city filed for water rights again, requesting Lake Eleanor and the Hetch Hetchy Dam for water and electric supplies. Roosevelt compromised with the city, giving it Lake Eleanor, but not a dam at Hetch Hetchy. But in 1909, the city wanted more, increasing tensions between the city and the Sierra Club. By that year, William Howard Taft had become the president. Taft appointed a new Secretary of Interior, Richard Ballinger, changing the competition of the game. Ballinger was opposed to Pinchot's utilitarian conservationist philosophy idea. In 1911, 3 days before Ballinger left his position as Secretary of Interior, he decided to give Congress power to control Hetch Hetchy Valley's conflict. The rising conflict. When Woodrow Wilson became president in 1912, he appointed San Francisco City Attorney Franklin Lane as his Secretary of Interior. The conflict was, Lane supported the construction of O'Shaughnessy Dam at Hetch Hetchy Valley, allowing him to make changes to the management of natural resources. The city of San Francisco fights with the Sierra Club and John Muir. The difference in power and position, the Sierra Club cannot defeat the city. Muir created campaigns and petitions to stop the constructions, and also sent letters to President Wilson and other conservationist leaders. In 1913, Lane recruited Michael M. O'Shaughnessy as their engineer. Later, Congress passed the Rager Act, granting the city the construction of O'Shaughnessy Dam and creating a reservoir. In 1913, December 19, President Wilson officially signs the Rager Bill. A year after, Muir passes away. The O'Shaughnessy Dam was pursued and being constructed. After the bill. After the Rager Act was proposed to the city, it led to another compromise, the creation of National Park Service. President Wilson signs the Organic Act, creating National Park Service in 1916 to protect national parks from harm. After the O'Shaughnessy Dam was built in 1923, the Hetch Hetchy Valley was lost. The reservoir flooded the valley and the beauty, wildlife, and habitat vanished. The reservoir was 1,800 feet deep and covering 1,972 acres. Organisms and species disappeared after the construction of O'Shaughnessy Dam because of the lack of food and habitat in the valley. Trees were also cut down for the dam's construction. The continuous conflict. In 1940, there was a proposed project similar to Hetch Hetchy, where the construction of a dam would threaten a portion of national monuments in Colorado. Colorado River Storage Project, or the CRSP, led by the Bureau of Reclamation, planned to dam the Green River of Echo Park, a part within the Dinosaur National Monument. Many people were against this project because it violated the Organic Act of 1960. Finally, in 1956, David Brower, the head of the Sierra Club director, successfully prevented Echo Park Dam from being built. The Green River conflict led to a new compromise, an amendment to the CRSP Act legislation. The amendment states, no dam should be built in the national park or monument. This act was a big win for environmentalists in the Sierra Club. In 1970, the Sierra Club continued to fight back, arguing for the consideration of removal of O'Shaughnessy Dam for a cheaper cost, instead of an upgrade to the dam, as was proposed. This started another conflict between reconstruction or removal of the dam. Studies were completed on the impact of restoring Hetch Hetchy Valley and removing O'Shaughnessy Dam, showing that if Hetch Hetchy Valley were to be restored, big sediments below the reservoir would have to be removed and would cause a loss of profit. Even though the Sierra Club and John Muir were unsuccessful in the Hetch Hetchy Valley conflict, they have served as role models for others trying to find a mutual compromise to protect the environment.